It's taken something that you may have done a lot of times, which is the figure 8, but we're going to start bending it in different areas. A lot of times when people learn techniques, they don't bend it, they don't like move it around their body to see all the possibilities, but this is simply figure 8 combination moving around the body. In slow motion, I'm doing a figure 8 by my hip across my body, becomes a reverse figure 8 on the other side. As it creeps up, becomes a slash. So we're going to break this down. There's 3 parts to it. But first, let me go over it a couple times, how it looks like in slow motion. Bam! Whoosh! Whoosh! I feel like this is really nice. You can use it as you step forward. You can do it just still. Or you don't even have to use your body at all. Just my personal preference is step, step, slash. It's a great way to just like advance on someone, kind of get closer to the audience. So here's how it works. First, you have to learn how to do they're called hip reels, but they're basically, we're doing a figure 8, but we're going to the left side of our body like this. First, let's just go ahead and stand sideways and just do a regular figure 8. You can probably do this, right? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep the figure 8 going the same direction, and we're going to turn facing 90 degrees over. So your figure 8 should still be going to the side, and we're going to lower it down to our hip. Now this may require you to kind of swing your hips to kind of feel this action. A lot of this is actually more in a hip twist than in your wrist right now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try to see if we can just get the figure 8 by this hip. Now as soon as we get that, as it comes forward, we're just going to give it a rotation here, and then we're going to try to see if we can feel this type of figure 8. This is a reverse figure 8, okay? But what's really interesting about this reverse figure 8 is as it comes closer to the hip, the chuck, the thumb is pointed down the whole time. So do you see, don't let your chuck point any other direction but down. So it's going to be behind me and in front of me, behind me and in front of me. And to really get the feel of this one, this is a little bit harder. To really get the feel of this one, do you see how as it's going in the front, my hand's bobbing upwards? And then as it comes down to cross over, it goes downwards. It's going to do the exact opposite. As it goes behind me, I'm going to lift up. And as it starts to clear, I push down to bring it up to the front. So up, down, down. So every time it's ready to go to the other side, I change directions going upwards, upwards, up. So here, here. Do it nice and slow to start. Now what we're going to do is once we create this circle behind our back, right here, we're not going to pull it up to the front. What we're going to do is we're going to actually, it's almost kind of like if I was turning to the side, if I turned to the side and I just did from the hip over to the top of the, I'm going to call it the tricep, I can't think of the word right now. So it's here and up. This is the fun part. I mean, this is the easy part. From here, we're just going to slash down from shoulder to hip. We can leap with it. We can do some cool, whatever you want to do. So essentially, we're going to go figure 8 to the left, 1 extra beat, pull it behind. So figure 8, circle here, circle there, pull it up to the shoulder, slash down. You may wonder how I can get this fast. This is actually a wrist motion. If you want to be able to do it quickly, it's going to be a very loose wrist. So to get that kind of motion is going to be a flick of the wrist. So you're very loose, and as you can see, look very closely at my wrist. See how it's guiding it along? If my wrist is straight, it makes it harder for me to control the momentum. But if my wrist bends with it, then all of a sudden I'm in control of it because I know the center of the force is going to be up here instead of here. So as your wrist bends with it, it actually absorbs some of the momentum, which allows you to have more deeper control. So get it nice in the wrist. See how my wrist is kind of turning in and out. So my wrist is kind of going like this instead of very stiff. It's moving with it. And then as soon as it happens to go in the front, my wrist is going to twist underneath. So, and it's going to be the same thing as this one. It's kind of like if you want to practice without the chucks, imagine that your wrist is leading the motion. We're doing that so we can put all the power into the wrists. We can put all the motion in the wrist so we can move it fast. Now you can do it fast if you don't use your wrists, but not nearly as fast as if you do use the wrist. Wrist, wrist. And it'll go here, 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 up, slash. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fast motion. Slow motion. So I hope this helps. It's pretty fun. It's a really fun one to do. So send me a message if you have any questions.